Welcome to the city council meeting for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. By your presence in city council, you are participating in the process of representative government. We will have a time later on for the public to speak with a 3-minute limit on anything that is not on tonight's agenda. Would you join me with the pledge, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Council President Sparks,
Here.
Councilmember Banks, Council Vice President Wilkie,
Yes, sir.
Councilmember McKay, Councilmember Closey,
Here.
Councilmember Wheeler,
Here.
Councilmember Mize, Councilmember Canopy.
Here.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes of November 12th, 2024.
Your Honor, I would move to approve the city council minutes of November 12th, 2024.
Moved and seconded. Do we have any public comment? Council discussion? There are no objections. We will accept that as passed. Next, we have the approval of minutes of November 26th, 2024.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the city council minutes of November 26, 2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any public comment on those? Council discussion? There is no, nobody against it. We will count that as passed. Correspondence, we have a letter of resignation from Dennis Eaton and one from Emily Eaton from the Public Works. So we will have a couple of openings. Let's get them filled. Yes, ma'am.
Just to add on to that for anyone who might be interested in filling that position out in the public.
YouTube. We're not on YouTube now. No
Oh, on
longer
YouTube.
on Facebook.
Okay, so for anyone who might be interested in filling that position, the commitment is once a month. We meet the third Monday of each month at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. So
For roughly an hour.
for roughly, 45 minutes to an hour,
Okay,
depending on. Yep,
okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You have the police and fire monthly reports for November. Any council disclosure of ex parte? We have no public hearing. Are there any council requests to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, one item to be removed from the consent agenda is the payroll register for November 24 for verification. All other items are okay, just that one to be removed.
Okay. So with the consent minus the payroll, is that what, that's what we're voting on tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion. Moved and seconded. Any public comment? Council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 7-0, or 5-0. Wow. Nothing on the ceremonial. Boards, reports of boards and commissions are there for you to look at. Now we have a time for audience participation that they may speak anything except for what's on tonight's agenda. Limit the duration of the individual is 3 minutes. Do we have anybody? Not seeing anybody. We will move on to resolution. Are we going to do that first, or are we going to? Okay, then they will, okay. We have a resolution R 24-96. It's a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding by and between the city of Laurel and Beartooth Resource Conservation and Development Area, Inc.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to move to approve the resolution number R 2496.
Second.
Okay, it's moved, moved and seconded, but they would like to make their presentation before you vote on it. Give us your name and
My name is Joel Berlino.
So that's the right one. Joel Berlino, I am the Director of Beartooth RC&D, and I have with me today our new Economic Development Director, Gaurav Thakur. You should have gotten in your packets, hopefully anyways, a little project review on some of the activities that we've worked on this year in the city of Laurel. At the top, the revolving loan fund's been pretty active in the community. We have 6 loans in the city of Laurel totaling $427,746. And along with other investments that has triggered a total of $1.4 million in investments with those loans. We've worked on House Bill 819 in all of our communities, which is an affordable housing bill that was passed by the state legislature, trying to get a little bit more understanding around that for these communities. Bozeman Trail mapping and doing some work on that to try and bring a little bit more tourism through the Bozeman Trail type area. And we have a Montana Business Attraction through the governor's office that sends us businesses that are looking to locate in our region. So we oftentimes will take those businesses around to these different communities, including Laurel, showing them potential sites that they could locate to. So we've done quite a bit of that as well. Collaborated with Small Business Development Center and brought a business training here to Laurel for businesses. Did some other outreach here with the Expert Weeds Trade Show with SBDC and regional training. We worked on 2 potential brownfield sites in the community here and provided a letter of support for the EDA Disaster Recovery Supplemental Grant for water system improvements. And there's a list of a couple small businesses that we've worked with here as well, including Rhodey Farms, Yellowstone Valley Farms, Montana Bin Busters, Molly and Friends, and Mindy's Burgers. Some of those efforts, we're trying to find them funding to expand their businesses. So with that, I'll just let Gaurav briefly introduce himself and kind of talk a little bit about some of the things he's been working on.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Gaurav Thakur. I'm the newest, actually resident of Laurel. I moved with my family of 4. We live in Laurel. My son goes to the West Elementary School. So thank you for the warm welcome. And so I'm 2 months on in my position, and I've kind of assisted in the Brownfields revolving loan fund application. So Beartooth RC&D did get granted $460,000 for Brownfields assessment grants. To complement the assessment grants, now we have applied for the revolving loan fund for cleanup activities. As we mentioned, there are 2 potential sites here, but there are over 80 to 90 potential sites in our 5-county region. Other than that, we've kind of tried to partner with, since I'm new, I'm kind of trying to learn about the area, partnering with different organizations, economic development in our region. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about myself. Thanks.
Other than that, I'd just like to thank the city of Laurel for their support over the years and for Heidi's support for our organization and the time she's put in on our board of directors. So any questions on any of those, please let us know. And if there's any efforts you'd like us to pay more attention to, if you've got something coming up you want us to work on, just let us know.
Councilmember Closey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the money that you receive, what is the percentage that goes to people, businesses, and what percentage is used for administration?
So the money that we receive, the money that is in this MOU is used to match a grant, a federal grant that's used for providing staffing. So through that, though, the staff then goes out and finds money for these businesses through grants and loans. So that's technically how we work, yeah.
So the money that Laurel gives to your organization
Yep,
goes to administration.
it does. It's matching money for a federal grant, EDA grant, and a state grant, CRDC grant, both for economic development activities. Mhm.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. CAO Markey.
Last week, we had a council member ask about the local businesses that you help in Laurel and expounding upon what you've submitted. How would somebody in the local community, if they're going to try to start a business in Laurel, what's your outreach for that? I think the council member was alluding to, are you helping the existing businesses in Laurel if they needed funding or, and how is that outreach, I guess? That was the question that was posed last week at the workshop meeting that you weren't here for, so.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, we have a pretty good presence. So we have a presence through the Montana Department of Commerce on their website, Montana Department of Agriculture, the federal providers of funds, they have outreach for us too. We have a Facebook page, we've got a website. And so we try and do as much outreach in the community as we can. But a lot of the stuff comes to us from our board members, from our partners like Big Sky EDA and local economic developers, and the businesses themselves who tell other businesses about the work we've done with them. So that's a lot of times how things come to us, or the actual state or federal agencies will direct businesses to us that they've heard questions on a funding source from, so.
President Sparks.
So just to add on to what Joel said, as far as like the board members that are on there, all 5 of the counties are represented from a board member standpoint. There's also representatives from some of our local banks. Like I know there's an individual from First Interstate Bank that's on there who deal with small businesses and helping them get loans. And so they'll often refer over to Beartooth or CND as well.
That's a good point. All of our loans are in partnership with banks, so we have good relationship with all the banks in the 5-county region, and they do often reach out to us. And sometimes the businesses may just need business planning assistance first, so then we'll provide that, and sometimes in concert with SPDC, and then work with them a little bit on the funding aspect.
Anything else? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a motion and it's been seconded. We're done with discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? 4-1. Voted down. There's no need.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
seeing you only have 5 members in attendance, any no vote would be a subsequent vote of no on the MOU. You need 5 affirmative votes to pass anything through this council.
Council President Sparks?
Can I make a motion to table this until we have a full council before us?
We've already had the vote though. It probably should have been tabled before we had the vote. Let me check with the attorney and we can bring this back up
Thank you.
unless there's a call for another vote. I don't think anything will change. I will check with the attorney though. Moving on, we have another resolution. I'm going to ask you to read this one. Mr. Markey, please.
So resolution R number 24-97, resolution of the city council approving a memorandum of understanding for the 2024-2026 collective bargaining agreement between the city of Laurel and the local union 316, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME, regarding work days and shifts.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution R 24-97.
Second.
Moved in second. We have any public comment? Come up to the podium, please. Give your name and address.
My name is Jean Kerr, 1128 9th Avenue in Laurel here. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Markey Guard and Council. I have one question. I couldn't find this earlier today and just was able to read how the memorandum of understanding regarding work schedule and related issues is written. And it talks about that for holiday pay, it's only for 8 hours, even if they're working 10-hour shifts. Is there an ability to make up those hours instead of taking vacation time? Because that is not addressed in here. There was some language in the minutes that when we read those, I could find those, it looked like it allowed for a worker to work extra hours, 2 extra hours to make up that differential and not have to burn vacation.
You want to answer that?
I don't have a good answer for you, whether they can work a 12-hour shift, because then the language is between negotiated contract terms, between what the union is willing to accept and what the city is willing to accept. So when it's negotiated for 8 hours or makeup time, that would have to be something going through the negotiated time. It was my understanding when the union asked for a vote, it was to be stipulated that if they wanted a 4-10 schedule, they would have the 8 hours as holiday pay and no overtime after 8, because the way the contract is stipulated, any work over 8 hours is overtime. So if it's a Monday, it's overtime after 8. In a normal, the federal standards is only after 40. So that's a negotiated, overtime is a negotiated between the membership of the employees and the city. So in this case, any overtime over 8 hours in a day is overtime. So that stipulation was put in there as this is a 10-hour schedule. They're not eligible to receive the 2 hours of overtime per day for the 4-10 schedule.
Right.
So it was my understanding that the union said that they would agree to the language changes as long as that was stipulated, that they're not going to get the 2 hours overtime on any given day of 4-10. It's essentially allowing an employee to do a 4-10 schedule, but not having the city incur overtime. So now your question is asking, can they employee incur overtime past a 10-hour shift, essentially a 12-hour shift in one day?
No,
Or
like if they wanted to come in on a Friday and work 2 hours to make that a 10-hour holiday versus burning 2 hours of vacation.
I think that's something that you, as a department head, could do probably.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because everything you said is spelled out very clearly. Just that was a question posed to me. And I said, I really can't answer that. And I didn't see this until just a short time ago to see actually how things were amended. And so that still was nothing when I read this that I could go back to the office and explain to my clerk. So that's why I'm posing that question.
Yeah, I think it would be a stipulation between, I don't believe that would violate any of the language in the contract. So barring anything in the union contract with the city and the employees, I don't see why that wouldn't be allowed on a holiday week. You're only gonna 5-6 times a year. Well, there's 11 holidays, but so anyway, so anytime those holidays would be, I think that would be something that the department head and the employee could arrange. I don't see that. I just don't see it going over, saying a 12-hour shift in order to do.
Oh, no, not
have
at all.
overtime,
It would be
yeah.
on a day that they were off, but to make that up versus burning vacation.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Any other questions? Council discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Do the next one.
Sure. Next one is resolution R number 24-98, a resolution to modify the previously approved compensation levels for the volunteer ambulance service.
Your Honor, I would move to approve Resolution R 24-98.
Moved and seconded. Any public comment on that? Council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 5-0. We just have the overtime removed from the consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Huh? Payroll. Yeah. Community announcements, anything, anybody? 1 minute? Councilmember Closey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This Saturday at 10 o'clock at the Yellowstone National Cemetery, there's going to be a brief ceremony followed by placing of the wreaths at all the headstones and columbariums for the Wreaths Across America celebration this weekend. That's this Saturday at 10 a.m. Everybody's welcome to come up and take part. That's all.
Have you contacted Public Works Director Mark Egard? Didn't he help you with that?
He helped take
Or
up,
Wheeler, sorry. Sorry,
they helped when we removed them, but not. when we
removed
put
them, okay. Anything else? Any council discussion? Council President Sparks.
Just a reminder that we have the Public Works meeting on Monday at 6 here in council chambers.
I have no updates, any unscheduled matters. Then we'll move for adjournment.
Second.
Moved and seconded, public comment, council discussion. All in favor?